Okay, so a lot of the information you're about to hear, you owe it to Vic Braden, Andy Fitzell have done a lot of research. One of my main mentors, Steve Smith, he started the first 2-year degree program for tennis teachers in Tyler, Texas. Other programs followed suit, like Ferris State, where you could get an actual degree in tennis management. And then when Steve did it in Tyler, Texas, Steve was mentored by Vic Braden for many years, so it was more based off teaching, getting people to play better. So, the relationship between technique and tactics. The only technique I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to get into serve, biomechanics, and fundamentals, but there really is no right or wrong way to hit a tennis ball. You could hold the racket in your mouth and hit the ball over the net, and if you succeed at that, congratulations, good for you. Today, when you leave this building, you could walk through that front door, or you could scale the wall, punch out the skylight, slide down, and do a backflip off the roof. Both would succeed in getting you out of this facility. One would be more efficient and would prevent injury, and the other, you might get hurt. So, this is the most efficient way we've found to hit the volley technique. That's the only stroke I'm going to go over, because you'll see as we go on how important the volley is in doubles. After I talk about strokes here a little bit, I'm going to use a large portion of the time to try to convince you to go to the net. And I know some of you don't want to go to the net. It's actually a personality thing. A lot of people, they get more anxiety as they get closer to the net. They're like, oh, things happen quicker. Something is going to come to an end very shortly when you're at the net, but you need to learn to get comfortable with that. And we'll go over that in a second. So first I'm going to talk about volley technique a little bit. I'm going to show you some footage of the pros volleying. Not that things that the pros do is what we have to do. There's lots of things that the pros do that a lot of pros do that I don't necessarily think is right. For example, I will not be demonstrating how to volley with Andy Roddick's technique on the volley. I don't know if you know who Andy Roddick was. He was #1 in the world, American. He was not known for having a great volley. In fact, I wouldn't say anyone should copy Andy's volley. So really, if you want to look at good volleyers, we go to the best doubles players in the world. You want to look at the Bryan brothers, Leander Paes. I'll show you a friend of mine, Raven Clausen. He's been top 15 in the world doubles. Those are the guys you want to look at when you look at volley technique. Roddick, self-admittedly, you saw towards the end of his career, he tried to learn how to change his game up and become a forward player, become an aggressive net attacking player. And he couldn't do it. It was too late. Seeing some young kids here, I can't stress the importance enough of right here early in your career, learn how to be a net player, learn how to be a volleyer. A lot of times that doesn't happen. When you're younger and you're not as tall and athletic as you're going to be, going to the net is not what wins for you. You go to the net, you get lobbed, you get passed, and you look over your coach and you're like, see. But if you keep doing it and keep doing it, you're going to get more athletic. You really want to peak in tennis when you're 13, 14 anyway. And that's just for our juniors here, junior development. But okay, volley technique. So grips on the volleys. Typically what's taught on the volleys is a continental grip, which would be the same grip at the serve. We don't actually see that when we look at the best volleyers in the world. Most volleyers, and I'll show you the footage, they don't volley on continental. Now they don't volley on semi-western either. They're somewhere in between. True continental anatomically opens your racket face too much, and it's really an uncomfortable position for the wrist to be in. And the slightest grip change, if you just went from continental just a few degrees, brought your knuckle over, it would be so much easier to get that racket face flatter.
What number is that?
It'd be 2.5. If you know our number system, the base knuckle of the index finger goes 1, 2, 3. We'll let our younger kids volley on number 3, an Eastern forehand actually. And then we'll tell him, okay, now you have a very fast passing shot coming, so you don't want to have to go all the way from number 3 to number 1. So we'll let them get an advanced volley grip. It's not true continental. It's about 2.5. It's right in between, and that's enough to get your racket face flat, but also enough time to get a little grip change in for your backhand volley. Don't think the best volleyers in the world change their grip? Wrong, wrong. Most of the top volleyers in the world, if they ever have time, they get a slight, the Bryan brothers, for example, will just adjust the palm pad for their backhand volley. So you can change your grips. It doesn't take that much time, even on a 100-mile-an-hour passing shot, to go from here to a slight grip adjustment on your backhand volley. So that's what I typically see on the volley. I see a continental grip, and I see kind of a punching motion, where the arm goes from bent to straight with some underspin. Now that's fine. You're going to need to have touch. You're going to need to be able to carve a volley, take pace off a ball, hit to the open court. But that's not what we see as a fundamental volley from pros. We do not see the arm straighten out. It's not a pushing motion. And to be honest, we don't see much underspin. We see a very flat volley, and it's more like a stroke. And I'm going to show you some footage of the pros. But a really positive thing, and people look at me like I'm crazy when I'm saying this, I'll get someone that comes in like this, and they have kind of this punching, bent to straight motion. I tell them, you need to learn to swing on your volley. And they look at me, they're like, what did he just say? Swing on my volley? I was told never to swing on my volley. And I have to say, well, it's not really like a swing, but it's a stroke. It's a stroke. And I'll go out there and demo in a second. I'll show you some footage of the pros, but really the only reason you don't follow through on your volleys is because you don't have time. The next ball is going to come back so quickly. But if you look at the top volleyers, if they're putting volleys away, they will come right over their shoulder. But the volley is a stroke. So you'll hear me sometimes in my classes yell out, don't poke it, stroke it. But it should be like a swing. It's a miniature swing, it's a flat string swing, but it's not a Continental Grip punch. And you'll have a lot of success with that. And it's important that you have proper volley technique. The tactics we're talking about today, hitting low volleys. Well, how low can you really push a ball? Now, if this is your volley and you get a low volley, you just like at some point you're just like that. So if you come from your shoulder, it's like, okay, there's a regular volley, there's a medium volley, here's a low volley. Angling off volleys. You can't really push an angle. You'd have to be like this to the ball to push it that way. If you have a stroke, you can hit it earlier in the stroke, later in the stroke to get angle. Just hitting deep on the volleys. Those are all tactics we're going to go over. But if you come in and you have a stroke that's not equipped to be able to produce the tactics, it would be, it'd be really hard for you to implement the tactics. So I urge everyone, even if you played a lot of tennis, take the time. We're going to do a lot of fun, fast-paced drills today. But the first drill we're going to do is we're going to take you guys all out, and we're just going to shadow swing the volley. And you should be able to go out there and just come from your shoulder. And then we're going to toss each other balls. And you're just going to work on coming from your shoulder, leaving the arm fixed. Coming from your shoulder. But just briefly, and then we'll get into tactics, and we're going to work on these stuff like low volleys. But injury prevention, how much stress, when I watch people come in, and they come to our cardio classes where I don't talk about technique much, and I just watch them hit volley after volley, and I see them come in with this backhand volley where the arm goes bent to straight, over and over and over. I see elbows that I worry about. I'm like, that elbow is not going to last. If you put this stress on your elbow over and over, it's going to hurt your arm eventually. Here's a larger muscle from your shoulder that just strokes through. It doesn't stop abruptly. That's how you're going to stay healthy in tennis. That's how you won't get elbow problems. The myth is that it's muscle memory, that somehow memory is stored in your muscles. But there's actually no such thing as muscle memory. It's actually motor learning. It's all sent from the brain. But you build myelin, you build these motor programs for certain swings. So if you've been doing this for 20 years, it's not easy to make changes, but you can. You just focus on it and you go out there and you do repetition. And then when I have people do this, they go, oh, I'm thinking too much. I'm like, yeah, well, you were doing it wrong for 20 years. It's your fault. But just do it. It can change. You can change in 2 weeks. It only takes a couple weeks to change your motor program. Go out there, go in front of your mirror, and do this over and over, and you'll fix it. If anyone can change, I've seen it. That's what I do for a living, is I help people make changes. But you gotta, if you don't want to get injured and you want to be able to apply the tactics you're learning today, be willing to look at your volley stroke a little bit, okay? And we're going to go over that too. Because I want to demo a little bit here. In fact, let's do that now. Why don't we I need a superstar. I need someone that's just so solid off the ground that I'm going to be able to volley with them and demonstrate volleying. Wayne Tan, thank you for volunteering. Wayne Tan, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, a round of applause for Wayne Tan. Okay, do you have a ball, Wayne? God, Wayne. Get a ball, Wayne. Get a ball, Wayne. A lot of pressure on me. All right, so what I'm going to do is, now what I'm asking you to do now is not be the typical tennis audience where I'm rallying with Wayne and you're going like this. This is nice. It would be great for you, not just now, but every once in a while if you go watch high-level tennis. It's hard to do because you want to watch the ball. But just keep your eyes focused on one player. Watch their footwork. Watch how they prepare. You'll learn a lot. Okay, go back to the baseline. Wayne, go easy. Go easy. Your one job right now, Wayne, is to make me look good. That's all you have to do. All right, so I'm going to try to just demonstrate volley technique. Now, don't watch the ball. Try to just keep your eyes on me. Nice and easy, Wayne. Go easy, Wayne. Now, I'm not really on a true Continental Grip. I'm going to try to make my volleys flat. Oh, look at Wayne working so hard to make me look good. Okay, notice I can follow through. Look, I'll follow through all the way over my shoulder. So it's not this. Also, what bounces higher? Underspin or topspin? Underspin. Underspin bounces higher than topspin. Typically, the reason an underspin ball would bounce higher or bounce lower than topspin is because it comes in at a higher trajectory, topspin. Underspin comes in at a lower trajectory. But if I send two balls in at the same trajectory, let's see if it works. Watch one ball hit the ground, then watch the other ball hit the ground. You don't have to hit these, Wayne. Here's an underspin ball. Your watch is going to dig in and actually come up. It's going to slow down. Now watch the flat ball. It's just going to hit and go. It's going to hit and take off.